So I've been staring at this blank screen for what feels like 3 hours now, rubbing my eyes and drinking my 4th cup of coffee, and honestly, I don't even know where to start today. But we have to talk about it. We really do. Because if you guys have been paying attention to the General Hospital fandom online lately, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It can't get any worse than this now, can it? That's what a lot of General Hospital fans can't help but wonder when it comes to Nancy Lee Grahn. And look, I've been covering this show and these actors for a really long time. I love this show. I'm tired, my back hurts from sitting in this chair, but I still care about the people who make Port Charles what it is. But man, the real-life drama is starting to outpace the on-screen soap opera. And that is saying something, considering we currently have people locked in paralyzing drug states and mobsters running around with WSB agents. But let's be real here. The actress who is obviously best known for her legendary role as Alexis Davis on our hit ABC soap seems to be getting angrier and angrier with each passing day. And it's bleeding into everything. You log on to social media to see what's happening with the GH cast. Maybe looking for some fun behind-the-scenes selfies, or a little spoiler about what Jason Morgan is doing next, and instead, you get hit with a tidal wave of pure unfiltered political rage. General Hospital's Nancy Lee Grahn's anger issues getting out of hand. That's the question everyone is asking in the Facebook groups and on the message boards right now, but it has absolutely nothing to do with her job on the hit ABC soap. Her anger isn't about her scripts or her screen time. Instead, it's all because she's unhappy with the current state of the country, and wow, she is not holding back. Not only that, but she never tries to hide her disdain for President Donald Trump and his current administration. She never has, really. If you've followed Nancy for more than 5 minutes over the last decade, you know she is fiercely, unapologetically political. But lately, the temperature of her posts has skyrocketed. It's like she's typing with the caps lock permanently glued down in her soul. In fact, Nancy even took to her Threads account recently to once again complain about what she thinks has been going on behind the scenes in Washington. And you guys, the words she used, it was a lot. Even for her. It was a massive, explosive paragraph that honestly made me blink a few times just to make sure I was reading it right. The actress wrote, and I quote, "Our government with a Republican-led Congress and an executive branch headed by a pedophiliac money laundering, treasonist, insurrectionist, rapist was mongering demented real estate, reality star hack is a crime syndicate." End quote. Just let that sink in for a second. Read that sentence again. That is a heavy accusation to throw out there on a public platform where thousands of soap fans are following you. She didn't mince words. She didn't use polite political discourse. She went straight for the jugular. And then if that weren't enough, she also added the United States of America is run by a crime syndicate. Nowhere in the history of the United States has a government been this corrupt, and that's a big fact. Google it. Google it. That's how she ended it. Like she's dropping the mic and walking off the stage. And honestly, it just makes you wonder, what is actually going on with Nancy Lee Grahn? Is she okay? Is she just venting because she feels helpless? Like so many people do when they watch the news? Or is this level of constant simmering fury actually unhealthy General Hospital news sites are blowing up about this? But for anyone who has been following Nancy on social media for a while, they won't be surprised by it at all. That's because the actress has long been a vocal critic of President Donald Trump and his administration. She has been on the front lines of celebrity Twitter resistance for years. But there is a difference between being a critic and sounding like you are one bad news alert away from completely losing your mind. What's more, Nancy also didn't hold back on the fact that she's not happy with the war in Iran right now, too. Because, of course, she isn't. Who is? But she takes it to a very visceral, emotional place. Nancy shared a clip of a CNN interview with Rep. Nancy Mace in which they talked about the 13 U.S. troops who've so far been killed in Iran. And the quote from the interview was just devastating. She said, "Well, America's sons and daughters have signed up to give the ultimate sacrifice." And Nancy Grahn just went off about that phrasing. The idea that these young kids signed up to die in a conflict overseas, it clearly triggered something deep inside her. And she let her followers know exactly how disgusted she was by the casual way politicians talk about human lives. And while a lot of her fans do like the fact that Nancy is so expressive with her opinions, Others think that she might be getting just a little too angry over situations that she has no control over. Let's be honest, there is a huge divide in the GH fandom. You have the fans who cheer her on, who reply to her threads with clapping emojis and say, "Tell them Nancy. Speak truth to power." And then you have the fans who just want to watch their soap opera in peace. The ones who say, "I watch General Hospital to escape the real world. I don't want to hear about politics from Alexis Davis." And maybe I'm being too harsh here. Maybe we shouldn't expect actors to just shut up and entertain us. They are human beings. They live in this country. They pay taxes. They have a right to speak their minds. But man, the energy it must take to be this angry all the time. It has to be exhausting. Sometimes I wonder how she manages to go to the studio and film her scenes when she is clearly carrying all this real-world weight on her. Shoulders. Think about what her character Alexis Davis is going through on the show right now. It is a lot. Alexis is currently dealing with the absolute nightmare of Rick Lansing joining Sonny Corinthos' legal team. And if you know GH history, you know how insane that is. Alexis was speaking with Rick just the other day, and she is so incredibly uneasy about him taking over Sonny's criminal defense. And who can blame her? Rick is a walking red flag. Alexis literally held him captive once. And Rick, in his classic manipulative way, tried to convince her there's nothing to fear, pointing out that he didn't rat her out for holding him hostage. Like, that makes him a good guy now, please. So Nancy has to go to work and channel all this intense, dramatic energy into Alexis fighting with Rick Lansing and worrying about Sonny's mob empire. And then she goes home, turns on CNN, and gets furious all over again about the actual government. It's like she's living in two different high-stakes dramas at the exact same time. And maybe that's why her performances are always so good. Nancy is a phenomenal actress. She brings a level of raw, vibrating tension to Alexis that very few people could pull off. When Alexis is stressed, you feel it in your bones. But you have to wonder if the lines are blurring a bit. Is the anger we see on screen fueled by the anger she feels when she scrolls through Twitter? And it's not just the Rick Lansing stuff on the show right now. Alexis is also deeply involved in the whole Danny Morgan guardianship situation. Jason Morgan is getting ready to leave Port Charles with Britt Westbourne. They are planning to run off to Canada to try and reverse engineer Britt's Huntington's disease medication because she is being blackmailed by Jen Sidwell and Ross Cullum. It's a whole messy, dangerous situation. So Jason has to leave his son Danny, and he actually sat down with Danny at the Quartermain mansion and asked him how he would feel about living with his grandmother Alexis. Which is huge. Alexis could be taking in a teenager who is currently dealing with the trauma of his dad going on the run again. But of course, nothing is ever simple for Alexis. She can't just take Danny in and have a happy little family. Because Willow Kane currently has a restraining order in place that prevents Danny from seeing his sister Scout. And Willow is using Scout as a pawn, fully controlling her access to her family while Drew Kane is incapacitated. So Alexis has to seek out Willow and beg her to lift the restraining order so that if she takes Danny in, he can actually be in the same house as Scout. It is a legal and emotional minefield. Alexis is fighting battles on every front. She is arguing with Tracy Quartermain, she is dealing with Rick, she is trying to protect her grandson. So when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you have Nancy Lee Grahn playing a character who is constantly fighting against corrupt systems, manipulative men, and unfair legal situations. And then you have Nancy Lee Grahn in real life fighting against what she perceives to be a corrupt system, manipulative politicians, and an unfair government. The parallels are honestly kind of wild if you think about it. Maybe playing Alexis Davis for so many years has trained Nancy to be a fighter. Or maybe Nancy was always a fighter, and that's why she is the only person who could ever truly bring Alexis to life. But still, the fans are worried. The social media comments are getting nasty. People are telling her to calm down, telling her she's going to give herself a heart attack. And you know Nancy isn't going to listen to them. She's going to keep posting. She's going to keep calling out the crime syndicate. She's going to keep sharing news, clips, and writing paragraphs in all caps. Because that is who she is. She is passionate, she is stubborn, and she does not care if she alienates half of her fan base. I just wonder how ABC feels about all of this. We know the network likes to keep things relatively controversy-free when they can, but Nancy's been doing this for years and they haven't stopped her yet. Maybe they know that her off-screen fire just brings more attention to her on-screen character. Or maybe they just know better than to try and silence Nancy Lee Grahn. Because if you try to put a muzzle on her, she is just going to bite your hand off. Look, I don't have all the answers. I'm just a tired blogger typing away while the world feels like it's spinning out of control. I get why Nancy is angry. The news is terrifying. The stuff happening in Iran is heartbreaking. The political divide in this country is exhausting. We are all feeling it. But sometimes you just have to log off. You have to put the phone down, step away from the keyboard, and take a deep breath. For her own sake, I hope Nancy finds some moments of peace amidst all this rage. Because fighting the good fight is important, but you can't pour from an empty cup. And as for Alexis Davis, well, she better brace herself. Because with Rick Lansing back in her orbit, Jason leaving town, and the battle over Danny and Scout looming, her life is about to get a whole lot more complicated. Let's just hope both Nancy and Alexis can survive the chaos without completely losing their minds. Okay, I'm rambling now. I need more coffee. But you guys get what I mean, right? It's all just so much. Too much maybe, but we'll keep watching. We always do.